I'm not a smart man.
You'll unlock this door with a simple registration. Beyond it is another dimension. A dimension of memes. A dimension of trolls. A dimension of morons. You are moving into a dimension of both factual and unfactual information, of rumours and hopes. You just crossed over into the Twitter fanboy zone. Dauntless, you complete clown. So I've had this guy harassing me on Twitter with several of his accounts. He's on harassing me, sending me messages on Xbox and on my YouTube channels. He's just not right in the head, to be honest. I'll cover the whole thing, but the main principle of the point is that he's under the understanding that Gamerscore is a measure of how good you are at games and how much of a gamer you are. That's his principle, and he will not budge on it. And sadly, a lot of the PlayStation fan base seem to think this. It's odd though, because especially for the PlayStation, their trophy thing has only been around for a short period in comparison to Xbox, and then prior to that, it wasn't even around at all. So does that mean there wasn't gamers prior to these scores? No one gamed because there's no record of it to show because you've not gained achievements. But if you can see my take on that, it don't make sense, does it? So yes, so that these people understanding that Gamerscore is a measure of how much you game. Before I get into that, let's just cover a bit of detail about Dauntless before I get into the Gamerscore argument thing. And some of the things he's been doing, just to give you some bit of background about this game, about this guy, because I'm sure some of you are going to look at him and think, oh, don't bully him, don't pick on him. No, I'm under the understanding I'm a fair, just person, firm but fair, and I like a balance, you see, and I'm very fair. I'm not going to just target and attack people randomly, because that's not what I do, because that wouldn't be fair. But what I don't approve of is people, regardless of who they are, attacking people and then hiding behind their trait or hiding behind something as a sort of a weapon, as a defence thing. You can't do this to me because of this, but I'm quite open to... You should know better, basically, and you shouldn't throw stones in glass houses. But anyway, but you just see... Make up your own decision on all this. But let's just cover this guy, because loads of people are blocking him because he's a complete idiot and just attacks everyone and trolls everyone. But you know me, I see it as glorious content that also gets my point across. So let's go. So this is Dauntless, and so is that, and so is that. In fact, he has several accounts on here and YouTube, which he dedicates to, yes, you guessed it, trolling Xbox gamers. Because, yeah, that's... Yeah, you know, because that's makes me feel like a big boy.
Shit.
I mean, here he's randomly taking a swing at a podcast. Wow, look at this. Yeah, he has a podcast, but he has co-hosts that do most of the talking for him. And when he does have something to say, it's less than a drop in a bucket. Actually, I think he must have forgot this. We had Dauntless come on our podcast a while back. Because Red took pity on him. He came on the podcast a while back. Do you actually want to have a listening to how he sounds on a podcast? Just bear in mind what he just said then. Do you want to listen to what he actually sounds like on a podcast himself? Bear in mind, when listening to this, the sound on this at this time, this is right at the beginning of the podcast, I was very echoey and loud because I was using a head mic at the time, so now I've got a proper mic. So let's have a listen to how Dauntless sounds in a podcast.
But yeah, where can people find you, Dauntless? And thank you so much for stepping in. But yeah, great to have you with us. But yeah, where can we find you?
Yeah, pretty much you can find me everywhere at Dauntless Dragon X for the most part.
Yes, we're friends on Xbox Live, and we still need to catch up for a gaming session. But yeah. You always have great arguments. Elite has great arguments with you in Twitter, so it's just interesting to watch that to watch it unfold. But yeah, what have you been up to this week? Like, what games have you been playing? Yeah.
Well, right now I'm getting back on Recore.
Is it good? I haven't played
but
that game.
Pretty much. Just
Did Recore just release, or isn't it released on PlayStation? No, not Recore. No, sorry, I'm getting mixed up with Super Lucky Tail. Sorry, Completely different games. Go on, sorry, continue, Dauntless.
I've been jumping on UFC 3 and 4 and just everything in between, really.
Oh yeah.
I just downloaded Guardians of the Galaxy.
Did you download it via Game Pass?
And
Have you played it before?
I played a little bit of it so far.
Did you play it before Game Pass, though?
Nah, let's be honest, guys. We've got paychecks.
we all held out for it to go to Game Pass, to be honest. Yeah. Pretty much it continues like that. We're having to just fill in for him and speak for him because there's just massive pauses. Many of you might say that, maybe he's just nervous because it's his first time on a podcast. Oh no, if you go and check out his book review channel here, have a look at that. It's pretty much the same. It's very awkward listening to. So, as I said, I don't know why this guy goes around. This is what I hate. He is the definition of a keyboard warrior. He just goes on social media attacking people and being nasty people, being very toxic. But this is him. This is who he is. And I just don't. I think he's out of his element and he shouldn't do such things. It's just wrong and nasty. But let's continue. Yes, as I mentioned, he's been attacking various people, but including myself, just having lots of accounts on Twitter and just spam me with toxic messages and stuff. And then when I started blocking them, he then resorted to message me on Xbox. Here's one of his messages. Yes, he seems to go on Twitter and call... I assume on Xbox as well. He calls people retards a lot. He likes the use of that word. He keeps calling people retards and stupid and idiots and all sorts of other toxic language, very toxic language. So you can see the kind of person we're dealing with now. And hopefully, if at first you thought, I was being a bit harsh, well, I wonder if your opinion's changing now. But then let's get into the whole... Because he's been doing this for a long while, but he really cranked up the level. Just because I disagreed with him Gamerscore, as I said, he's under the impression that Gamerscore proves you're a gamer. You're not a gamer unless you've got a high Gamerscore. That's his weird opinion. In fact, I debunk him so much, and he stalks me so much. People are under the pressure that he fancies me, and he's got the hots of me, basically, which... Oh God, I hope not. That sounds really creepy. So he continued on the debate with, I don't buy that excuse. Just because you play MP doesn't mean you can't have a high gamer score, but also you haven't shown any proof that you play them, so I have to show proof that I play multiplayer games, which I have done, but why do I need to show proof that I play multiplayer games? It's ridiculous, this guy's ridiculous. He's weird. So he tries to claim that there's no excuse that if you play multiplayer games you still have high achievement points. So I go on to say yes it does, because regardless of how long you play COD, for how many kills you get whatsoever, you're not going to get as many achievements on a multiplayer game as you do as a single player game. Because the main fact of the point is that however much time you put in multiplayer games like I do, I put hundreds of hours into multiplayer games. Your achievements, you don't get achievements for all the time. You don't get achievements for time spent on the game, the amount of things you kill, the amount of things you do. You don't get achievements for those. You get mainly achievements for completing sort of legacy points of the game. That's why you get them in campaigns, single player games, more achievements than that. Because you can play COD all day long. You can only play COD, so your achievements are finite. You can only get a certain amount of achievements because most of the achievements from COD are in the campaign. And that's like, especially on MMOs. If anyone plays Elder Scrolls, the amount of game amount you have to do in that just to complete the game and get all the achievements is incredible. You can play the game for literally years. But anyway, let me continue. Then he thinks he's being clever here. He replies, so you're using COD as an example when most of the achievements are not tied to MP. Good job. So what is it there? It's just literally proved my point. Exactly, I say. Most achievements tied to this single-player campaign, not the MP. Thank you for proving my point once again.
But this head movie makes my eyes rain.
Then, of course, he tries to flip-flop and sort of double back on himself and try to claim that he never said achievements were connected to how much you play or how much of a gamer you are or any of that. He seems to then start backtracking them massively when he realises how stupid he's been. But it's too late, Dauntless!
What you watching, little bro? Caught you in 20K HDR 1200 FPS Super Nintendo iOS 49 Blu-ray ultraviolet radiation 1080p PlayStation 5.
So the moral of this story is don't say stupid shit on social media and don't take drugs unless you want to end up looking like this. So to round up the whole point, Gamerscore is no measure of how much of a gamer or how much you game. That has nothing to do with it. Achievements are there just for players, individual players' own personal sort of achievements for themselves. Not all gamers play games for achievements. Many gamers play games for fun. I'm sure people play for achievements also get fun out of the game, but people that don't play for achievements, they're not playing the game to achieve something. They're playing the game for fun, to de-stress, to fill a void. Myself, I play MMOs because I get a challenge from playing MMOs against other players. I don't get achievement for doing that. I don't get achievements for killing players. I don't get anything for it. And I'm not upset by that. I don't care because I don't care about achievements. That's why I've turned them off. When I get achievements on Xbox, nothing comes up. Nothing says you just got an achievement. Do that noise because I don't care. I've turned them off. I've turned off. So the whole statement on if you're a gamer. I've been gaming since the 70s. I have played countless games all across, as you can imagine, since the 70s. Since I started on the Atari, the old Atari. Predate that. I can't remember the name of the console. It just had little weird paddle things. It had one game on it, Pong. That's all you could play on it. I think it was Pong, and there was like a Tetris game. That's all it had in it. It was like two colours, black, white, some pixels. That is it. I've been playing since then, right through to now. And I was a PC gamer as well. I went into PC before I went into console. I've been gaming pretty much my whole life. The vast majority of my life. I played so many genres and variations of games. Now I just play for myself, and when I've got time, because I've got family, I've got my work, kids, grandkids, such like that now. So now I just play for myself, and what I prefer to play is MMOs and co-op games, so I can jump in it, fight people. I get more of a challenge playing against players than PvE. I get more of a challenge playing PvP, because PvP, playing players, is more of a challenge than playing AI, because AI is limited, which I'll go into another video later on. But anyway, so please, Gamerscore is nothing close to a measure of how much you game or how good of a gamer you are. Nothing on it. Anyone could just put down a game, complete it, get all the achievements, complete free. Anyone can do that. Anyone can do that. And some games I have done, like single player games I've enjoyed, but the narrative that Gamerscore means you're a gamer is the asinine argument. The irony of Dauntless' statement back there. That argument is asinine. It's just a shame there's so many PlayStation fanboys use that as some sort of stick of like a gotcha. It fails every time, and it's easily debunkable. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of this video, what you think about Gamerscore. Do you think it's a measure of how much of a gamer you are, or how good of a gamer you are? If you've got more achievements, are you a better gamer? How does it make you a better gamer if you've got more achievements? How? Anyway, thank you all for watching, and goodbye for now.